Welcome back, friends. It's Anders. Today we are making two cocktails. Yep, we are back to cocktails, and these are classics. If ever there were two classics, these would be two of them. This is the Adonis and the Bamboo cocktail. Both of these cocktails are older than dirt. They're extremely similar. They're lower ABV, so if you're coming off of taking a little break from drinking, I know this is like the second week of January, I think that it's good that you made it to the second week of January. Bravo. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button for more sips, tips, and recipes. And let's go make the Adonis and the Bamboo cocktail. To the bar. Okay, so I'm gonna be making both cocktails today because I think they're both great, and truthfully, I have not done a side-by-side. I don't know which one I like better. One thing about both of these recipes though, is they simply say dry sherry. There are a few different dry sherries. You've got your fino sherries, the manzanillas, which are really bone dry, your amontillados, your oloroso. The less dry you get, the more nutty flavors you get. I think it's really interesting because they vary so much, and I think this is just a fun cocktail. Both of these are fun cocktails to explore sherry. Now, sherry is not for everybody. I think it's kind of an acquired taste. At least it was for me. Once you cross that threshold, there's no going back, and sherry is an absolutely wonderful thing to sip on its own. And these drinks are a wonderful intro to sherry. So what do you want to hear? The history? I'll tell you the history. First, I'm going to talk about the Adonis because I think that is the older one between the two. It was created at the Waldorf Astoria in New York in the mid 1880s, and it was named after a Broadway musical that had the same name, Adonis. At the time, it was the longest continually run show on Broadway. I think it was 500 shows, and this was to celebrate the show. Dry sherry, sweet vermouth, bitters. What's crazy is across the world, in Yokohama, Japan, either at that same time or a few years later, you see the Bamboo pop up. The Bamboo was dry vermouth, dry sherry, and bitters. Very similar. And it was Louis Eppinger who was credited for creating this drink. Now, Eppinger was a German gentleman who lived in San Francisco and bartended in San Francisco and moved to Yokohama, Japan in 1889 or 1890, sometime around then. So a lot of people say that the Bamboo cocktail came around in the early 1890s. Both of these cocktails were born around the same time. Maybe one was based off the other. Over time, they've remained completely different cocktails, although they're very similar. And I'm not seeing a whole lot of talk about the fact that these are very much the same drink. Part of this is for my own entertainment, because I want to do a side-by-side, and I thought I would just do it in front of all of you. Without further ado, the booze. For the Adonis, we will need sweet vermouth, a dry sherry, and orange bitters. For the Bamboo cocktail, we are gonna need these two things, as well as a drier vermouth and Angostura bitters. The Adonis and the Bamboo cocktail are these four. As far as the Adonis, the sweet vermouth, I'm using the Cocchi Vermouth di Torino. I love this vermouth. I use this in a lot of different cocktails. It's a little bit richer and it gives the Adonis some weight. As far as the Bamboo cocktail, I'm going with a Blanc vermouth, which is gonna be a little bit sweeter than the true dry vermouth. It's a semi-dry. Of course, you could use a dry vermouth. Many people do. In fact, most bartenders do. But I do like the Dolin Blanc in this cocktail. What else? Oh, yeah, the sherry. Well, the most important thing in this drink. This is an Oloroso, which is not bone dry, but I like the richness. It has a nice nuttiness that's gonna be great in both cocktails. And I had it open in the fridge, so I had to use it up. This is gonna be outstanding. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna make both of them and drink them. Let's build. Oh, also, get your glassware chilling. It'll be served up. I've got 2 coupes in my freezer. Now, the Adonis. In the mixing glass, let's start with the sherry. 2 ounces of your dry sherry, and then we can add 1 ounce of sweet vermouth. So here we have 2 parts sherry to 1 part sweet vermouth. Then we'll add 2 dashes of orange bitters. And we can move on to the Bamboo cocktail. We're gonna do 1.5 ounces of the dry sherry and match that with the Blanc vermouth. 1.5 ounces of the drier vermouth. So here, because this vermouth is drier than the sweet vermouth, I'm going equal parts vermouth to sherry. Then we can add 2 dashes of our orange bitters and 2 dashes of the Angostura aromatic bitters. Now we can add ice and stir. This is an opportunity to practice your dual stirring technique. I haven't done this in a long time, so I'm a little out of practice. Go ahead and give it a stir for, I would say, at least 30 seconds, probably a little bit more. Wow, my left hand is really lagging behind. You know, when I was doing this every night, I built up calluses on my fingers from stirring, and I no longer have those calluses. Trying to make conversation while I stir, otherwise it's kind of boring. Luckily we have B-roll. Thanks, Oz. Into the glass, pour your cocktail. Both of these get the same garnish. Orange oil right on top. Hit the sides. Because these look similar, I'm going to use this as a garnish for the bamboo cocktail. I need to know which is which, so there we have it. The Adonis and the bamboo. I am gonna start with the bamboo. When I'm tasting two drinks, I like to start with the one that I anticipate is gonna be a little bit lighter and more delicate in flavor. Cheers. Orangey up front. Ooh, yeah, nutty, dry finish, very savory. I love this drink. This would be great as a cocktail before a meal. Now the Adonis. Aha, ooh, this is a good one. This is a good side-by-side. The sweet vermouth gives it notes of cola, which are really nice. I get more of a bitter finish on the Adonis, even though there's more bitters in the bamboo. Oz, have you had either of these?
No.
That's the bamboo.
Ooh, it's savory.
As far as a preference, they are very similar, but I would lean towards the bamboo. I do like the delicate flavors, and I think that actually a little bit of Angostura bitters really kind of livens it up. Two very similar yet different cocktails. Also, thanks to a lot of you for sending me some stuff in the mail. This came from Lion Bines Hop Farm in Pennsylvania. Beanie, couple hats, thank you kindly. Lion Bines Hop Farm. Hops infused soap. No, it doesn't smell like beer. Thank you, Victor. We also got a book from Livio, the 12 cocktails that everybody needs to know. I hope I know these. It says, for Anders, I totally love your sips, tips, and recipes. All the best, Livio. Thank you, Livio. And then one last one. Andre sent me Love Sexy cocktail book. I don't know what he's trying to say, but I hear you. These are all cocktails that are based on Prince songs. Thank you, Andre. Also, your name is very close to Anders. Thank you guys so much. Happy mixing. Goodbye.